even more unexciting topics than books, we have some postcards. I actually went to a postcard show, I would guess you would call it. I'd call it a convention, but to have a convention, you actually need people there. And when I went there, of course, I went midday. I think it was from 10 to 4, and I went about 2 o'clock. So, in defense of the show, there weren't many people there. There was only 10 dealers, which, I mean, it limits the amount of people that are going to come to begin with. But I've never been to one of these before. And I wouldn't have gone, but I bought a postcard. I don't know which one it was. It was one of these that I purchased recently. It could even be the ones I featured with Norma Proctor. And the person who sold me the card said, "Hey, we're going to be in Detroit area." So I was like, "All right, buddy, I'll come." And I went there, and luckily I only took $24 because I got, what, one, two, three, four, 5 postcards for $24. And these were extra ones. I bought it in the estate sale, but yeah, I mean, these are cool cards of the little town I live in. This is from, what's it? I'm going to say the 1910s on that one. And the city, Wayne, which was a village at the time, this one was sent on February 14th, has one of the worst postmarks in the history of, had one of the worst postmarks in the history of postmarks. And as such, this little, instead of the normal circular one like this one has, although the fucking postmaster here stamped the son of a bitch and didn't put a full impression on there. But instead of the typical circular one, they had like a bar one, so it's like 3 lines. And you can usually see the 2 dates, but it's almost impossible to pick up the year of those sent. They were sent. They only used it for about 10 or 15 years, but in those years, it was, like I said, it's one of the worst postmarks. But it's also a unique one, so it is easy to spot it in a pile of postmarks. But the ones I picked up, this one was $9. 9! It features the name of Hiram Warner, who was part of the Warner family of Wayne. I don't know if well, this is Mrs. Hiram Warner, so I don't know if they lived near this spot before they moved to, where'd they move? New Boston. But the family was well known in the area, and I believe they had a dry cleaning service. And there's some cool old photos of the sisters who had the dry cleaning business. And they also produced maple syrup, the Warner family in this area. And I have a few cards. Actually, I have one card that talks about them harvesting the syrup. So I will look up Hiram Warner here, and maybe Mrs. Ruth Perrin, which I picked up at an estate sale the other day. And then there's, this one's just a local one, Belleville, which is down the road from me. And then there's this Mrs. John, what's it say, Wenzel Hillcrest. I think that was the address of the estate where I purchased these. What's this say, 94? Can't be 94, 64. Who knows? Maybe it is 94. But yeah, so well, most people collect these. My main mission was to produce these things. I used to have a little newspaper, and I would put these little postcards on there and different photos and shit like this. But for a lack of 16 goth girls and witches working for me, it was too much work to produce an 8-page newspaper. as such, I quit doing it. It would take me a whole month to produce this little 8-page newspaper, and I mean a lot of research to do it because I'm not a bitch. Not a bitch, I'm a champ, and I would research topics to excess. But you have great little photos like this. It's not hard to research that. But anyway, I am going to pull up some information, especially on this one right here, which relates to Allie McCullough. Where is it? This postcard. There are just as good fish as ever were, what does that say? Were caught at Denton. Denton is a defunct little township between Ypsilanti and I think Canton, Michigan. But this is from 1913, and Allie McCullough, this little girl, not little girl, she was a 17-year-old woman who died. She mentions the little town of Denton in one of her diary entries. So I'm going to look up this and see if I can find Lydia Nixon in the Denton. Good as my word. You see, what does that say? Good as my word. The fuck does that say? S-E-E or is that S-E-Q? Regardless of what it is, I'm going to look up Lydia Nixon, see if she lived in Denton, Michigan. All right. Let's see what we can do here. I got to put this down. I accidentally gave out private information the other day, so we will not look under there. What do I want? I don't know what I want. Family search. There we go. Family search. We're going to look up this name. No, this ain't the one. Charlotte Mason. I do want to look her up too, though. Charlotte Mason. I had several cards from the estate sale that had Charlotte Mason's name on them, but somehow I either dropped them or some fucking loopy bastard stole them from me. And there I go. I just showed my... No, I didn't show anything. You didn't see anything. Let's pull it up. What are we looking up? Lydia Nixon, Denton, Michigan. Doubt it's going to show anything for Denton, Michigan, but you never know. Search. They claim it's Wayne County, but there's also one up in Roscommon County in northern Michigan, but I don't know if it was a town at that point in 1913. We shall see. Records. Lydia Nixon. Let's look her up, bruv. Turn this light off. Lydia Nixon. Problem with turning that light off, you can't see that then. Then the problem with that is you see a fucking glare. There's no wind, buddy. Lydia Nixon. I could actually turn so the light hits it, but let's see. Lydia Nixon, Denton, Michigan. Denton, Michigan. Don't matter which year. Let's do it. Cassiopolis, Michigan. No results. Oh, wait. Oh, she lived in Cassiopolis, Michigan. She was buried in 1959, so that makes her, what, 23 at that time? See, we found something even without looking for it. All right, we don't want to... Wonder if she was from Denton. Denton. Lydia Nixon. Lydia. Let me turn this off. No, don't click on it. Didn't want you to click on it, bruv. Nope, they're all this town. Cassopolis. Where the fuck is Cassopolis, Michigan? Birth. Where was she born? Where was she born? Guess we can see. Cassopolis, Michigan. Cassopolis. Where the fuck is it? It's a village in the U.S. state of Michigan and the county seat of Cass County. Where's that? Guess we can pull up a map of it and see. Williamsville. It's basically out by Lansing, sort of. Niles. No, it's out past. It's out by Three Rivers, so that's closer to whatchamacallit, St. Joseph, Battle Creek area. Battle Creek's way up there, so even further down, Sturgis, St. Joseph, Three Rivers, that area. That's interesting. Cassopolis. See where Lydia was born. She was born. Stages. Come on, buddy. Let's load this bitch up. Where was she born? Washington, no, Saline Township. So it's possible she was in that area. She's from that area then. She was born there on February 14th, 1890. So, Lydia Nixon. Let's see what we know about her parents. Lydia Nixon. Come on. Come on now. Let's pump it up, bruv. Just doesn't want to zoom in. Lydia Nixon. You son of a bitch, after all that effort. Guess it doesn't matter where she was born. It says she was born in Saline. I'll accept that. Alright, when did she die? 50 something? And Lydia Nixon. She'd be 23, but that must mean she was death 59 in Cassiopolis. Let's look her up. Find a grave. Find a grave. Lydia Nixon. Nixon. 1959, bruv. Put 49, bruv. I fucking fed the team, bruv. Two of them. got to be her. Penn Township, Cass County, Young Prairie Cemetery. Lydia Nixon, age 68. Miss Lydia Nixon died Sunday at 1 p.m. at her home at 222 South Rollins Street, Cassopolis. She was born in Penn Township, December 17th, 1890, and had been a lifelong resident, excluding the years 1935 to 45, at which time she was manager of the millinery department of the Enders Company in Benton Harbor. Maybe this is not her. See what this says. What was her name? Doesn't say she was married, does it? So maybe her name was always Nixon. Come on. Come on. You know you want to go down, buddy. There you go. Family members, parents, Phineas Nixon. Surviving her is a brother, Clarence of Cassopolis. Let's see what her father is. Phineas Nixon. My name is Phineas. Fucking Charles Bronson. Lydia May Nixon, born 1890. Lydia Nixon. See if she's related to any Williamses in here. This would explain any Williamses we know. Come on. No. As of yet, nothing. Denton, 1913. Good as my word, bruv. Look at those good mouth fishes. Love how the phone's reflecting or casting a shadow here. It's great. You could always do this, you fucking dullard. Good as my word, bruv. Denton, Michigan. This can't be her then, because this one says February 14th. She was born. Maybe it's not her. Seems awful strange that it wouldn't be her, though, doesn't it? Oh man. Oh, I was born in 1856 or 1846. Weird. $1959. Now this one does say December 17th. 1890. Of course it does, because it's the same file, you idiot. You fucking idiot. Beth Lydia Nixon, 1867 to 1970. 17. Let's see what it says over here for that. Why am I having such a fucking hard time clicking these goddamn buttons? No, it's that same file. See, this is the one saying the 14th of February, 1890. So I'm not really sure. But I'm going to click it. Wish I could just use it as a fucking JPEG. Are you going to show up, bruv? I don't see you showing up. Let's get this enlarged. I don't know why you won't. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. Doesn't want to. Don't even see Nixon. Don't see Nixon. Of course I don't see anything because it won't fucking zoom in. There you go. Come on. You can do it. I guess you can't do it. That's as far as it goes. Nixon. Alright, I give up on that bullshit. Doesn't really matter. Where she was born. Let's look at Denton, Michigan. Oh, shit. Denton Township is not what we want. We want Denton, Michigan. Two different places. You motherfucker. Denton Cemetery out that way. Atlas. Denton Cemetery in Van Buren. Right, let's look at the map of Denton. There's Belleville. Where the fuck is Denton? So Denton's north. It's basically right next to Canton. Let's see if we can go down there. Well, don't cry, stomach. So Denton Farms. Denton is right on the, what's it, south of Canton? It's over here. Van Buren. Ecorse Road. Hey, there's Lucking. Wonder if that's, what's his name? Alfred Lucking's family. Does it say Weird? W Weird? Hey, Weird. Eastern Michigan Edison Company. Belleville. Oh, oh. That's the old Chicago Road. Doubt it, since that's Ecorse Road. I don't think there's much written about Denton Township. Let's see who's buried at the Denton Cemetery, though. Maybe I'll go there soon. The old Denton Cemetery. How many people are buried here? Does it have no listings? How many fucking people are buried here, buddy? I don't understand. Usually says how many are buried there. $1,243 memorials. There we go. Albin. Still burying people there. Does it say, am I right? No, am right. Am I right? Who's this? Alma Esther Dix Arnold. I like that hairdo. Hell yeah. She's like a movie star. How'd she get there, bruv? Floyd Dix. There's Seth Dix, 1906 to 1967. That's her parents, or his parents. Effie Faustina Ayers Arnold. Nice. It's a great photo. Curious face. Almost looks like she's dead. Obviously, she looks very alive. She just looks like a mannequin or something. Let's look at this photo. Her face kind of looks just... Maybe it's just the... This looks like she had plastic surgery or something, but it's probably just the photo. Alright, she's not going to let me move there. Come on. Dr. Brian Anderson. Alright, I guess that's all I'm going to learn about Denton, Michigan. Denton, Michigan. Canton. Denton, Texas, you motherfucker. Never take Denton Road, especially at night. Forgot about that. Denton Road has a folklore attached to it. Sometimes it feels like a dream. For 10 years, I had made it feel like a dream. I packed the event into a deep corner of my mind and shut off the lights of recognition. I thought I could just wish it away, but deep down I knew I was fooling myself. The last few months have been rough. More and more details about what happened started to bubble to the surface, and I had a harder time ignoring the wreckage. It was starting to affect my day-to-day life. My therapist suggested I confront things head on and write them down. I thought it was dumb as hell, but I was desperate. Senior year of high school, and it was Halloween time. Janet F's parents were going to be out of town because of a death in the family. Janet stayed behind because she couldn't afford to miss too much school. She was close to failing, and the dead relative was someone she had met once. As soon as we all heard, we knew where we would be for Halloween weekend. I was psyched. Bonfire, beer, and Brianna D. I had a crush on her for years, and I finally decided that I was going to shoot my shot. Were the odds stacked against me? According to my friends and the rational parts of my brain, yes, but I didn't care. I was going to go for broke. Worst thing that happens is that she says no. Best thing, well, I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. The evening of the party, I remember there being 3 of us at the liquor store. I know there was. It was me, Michael, and Moose. We were friends from way back, and we had a connection at Royal Liquor that would sell to us. Granted, he overcharged us, but we got booze, and that's all that mattered. When we were checking out, Rusty, our connection, bagged the bottles of Boone's Farm and winked. You guys heading to a party? We were quiet, and Rusty rolled his eyes. You worried I'm going to show up or what? I'm 30, man. I'm 30, I think it's supposed to say. Nothing there for me but potential jail time. Yeah, I said. Whole senior class is going. Nice, he said, handing over the bag. If you need more, I'm here until 11. What about condoms? Moose said with a grin. This bitch thinks he's going to need them. Shit, you bring enough business here from that party, I'll throw in the jimmies for free. It was gross, and I was embarrassed. Moose and Michael just laughed. I nodded because I didn't know what else to do. We better get going, Rust, I said, moving towards the door. We're running late. Take Denton Road, he said with a laugh. Moose shrugged. Might not be a bad idea. It'd save us 15 minutes. Michael instantly shook his head no. No way, man. Not worth it. Not after what that family said. I'm not driving down a haunted road, man. Don't be a bitch, Moose said. Ghosts aren't real. It's just a legend. Is it though, Rusty said? Yes, Moose said. It's just cornfields. Corn has to be replanted every year, Rusty said, shaking his head, and no one is planting it. But year after year, those cornfields come back. I've heard that too, Michael said. How do you know? I asked Rusty. You're not a farmer. I have hobbies outside this job, man. But if you don't believe me, drive down and see. Have a good night, I said as we walked out. We piled into my truck, Moose in the passenger seat, and Michael sat in the small fold-out side seat behind Moose. It was cramped, but he fit just fine. I started the engine and took off. As we drove down Main, we saw the sign for Denton Road, fast approaching. Moose looked over at me and shook his head. Dude, it's a straight shot to Janet's house. We don't need to get there that bad, Michael said from the back seat. It's only 15 minutes longer the other way. Fine, Moose said, looking out the window. I hope Brad isn't there. I heard he's got a thing for Brianna, too. Sucks if you'd miss out on getting to talk to her because you were afraid to drive down a road. He had a point. Looking back, it was something I wish I had ignored, but I wasn't being rational at the moment. I pulled over to the side of the road and considered my options. I looked back at Moose and asked, Why do you want to get there so early? I got a girl I like too, he said. Not all about you, bitch. Dude, Michael said, is it worth going down Denton to save 15 minutes? What can happen in 10 minutes? A lot can happen in 15 minutes, Moose argued. Rockets can get to space in 15 minutes. That's true, I said. You know the legends, Michael pleaded. The Denton family that owned the land swore revenge on the town and anyone who came on their property. Then they were wiped out by drunk hillbillies 100 years ago, Moose said. 100 years isn't that long, Michael countered. Enough, man, Moose said, turning to me. What are you going to do? I looked forward. The old weather-beaten sign for Denton Road loomed large in my view. I shifted the truck back into the drive and flipped on my blinker. I was going to take Denton. Michael sighed and Moose cheered. I just smiled and edged my truck back on the road and turned. Denton was a dirt road and not a well-maintained one. There were tons of potholes, and since I didn't want to fuck up my truck, I dropped my speed to about 15. You felt them all, but it didn't mess with your shocks or suspension. The sun had set, and since this was a backcountry road, there were no lights save for my headlights. As we inched along, Michael started staring out the back window. I normally would have let it go, but he was staring at the left side of the road. You okay? He didn't respond right away. I was about to ask him again when he muttered, I think I saw something. Sure, I said. Was it your virginity? Moose said with a chuckle, because we all see that. Michael didn't laugh. He just kept looking out the window. Moose and I exchanged a look through the rear view, and I kept driving. I decided to turn on the radio to fill the silence, but the damn thing didn't turn on. What the shit, I mumbled. Without looking up, Michael said, This isn't a surprise. It's the fuse, Moose said. Remember, it was giving you issues last week because you tried to fix it. Hey, man, you wanted me to try to install a system. You said you could. I put one in my car, no problem. It's your shitty truck. Dude, Irma is getting us to the party, I said, tapping on the steering wheel. Don't bash her. Just then, all the lights in my cab went out. The engine sputtered and came to a halt. We rolled to a stop in the middle of Denton Road with absolutely no lights. It was dark, and we were alone. Fuck Irma, Moose said, and I couldn't disagree. This isn't good, Michael said. What if they come for us? Who? The family that was following us. It gave me pause, but my rational brain won out. I hadn't noticed anyone in the mirrors. There wasn't anyone back there. They were in the corn. Don't be a dick, dude, Moose said. I'd be careful out there, Michael added, not looking away from the window. Moose elbowed me. You want to take a look at the engine? I nodded, and Moose and I climbed out of the car. I leaned my head in, keep an eye out just in case. I popped the hood, and Moose and I stared at the engine. I don't know shit about cars, Moose offered. My broken radio tells me that much. Dude, he whispered, what's up with Michael? I don't know, I said. He seems off. You think he's really seeing anything? I don't think so, but who knows? He's been acting weird since the store. I mean, what do we do here? He's flipping out, the car won't start, and we're stuck on fucking Denton Road, I said, looking around. I'm not saying some ghouls are going to get us, but I'm less than comfortable with hanging out to see if I'm wrong. Moose nodded, but before he could respond, we both heard Michael call out, It's there, in the corn. I looked at Moose, and he looked back at me. He shook his head. Maybe he's already broke into the booze, he whispered. What the fuck are you talking about, I yelled out. What's in the corn? The family. Not gonna lie, that chilled me. I wasn't thinking ghosts, but killers. Some Charlie Manson bullshit. My brain snapped into survival mode, and I thought about what we had to fight back with. A tire iron, a broken bottle. Moose had said before he knew how to make a makeshift Molotov, although I had my doubts after the radio debacle. Let's go try the car again, I said to Moose. I slammed the hood louder than normal. Michael didn't move. He just kept staring out the window. It was like he was avoiding us. I looked at Moose and then back at Michael. Hey, man, I said, are you okay? He didn't respond right away. He just kept staring out the back window. His breathing had slowed like he was afraid to make any noise. Michael, I said softly, you see something? They're watching us, he said. They're all around us. I tried to start my truck. The engine whined, wheezed, but wouldn't turn over. I tried again and again. I leaned back and sighed. Just then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move along the side of the road. It might have been wind, but I wasn't sure. I leaned over and locked my door. Just then, at the other end of the street, I saw a pair of headlights light up. Moose grinned. Fuck yeah, he said with just a bit of relief to his normal non-ghost believing voice. This dude can totally give us a jump. Thank God, I muttered. Those lights aren't coming to save us, Michael said, his face still glued to the back window. The fuck is your deal, Moose said, but Michael didn't respond. Moose was pissed. Turn around and look at me, dude. He grabbed his shoulder, but then my engine started. Moose and I looked forward. I didn't hesitate. I pressed down on the gas pedal. The truck fishtailed a bit on the dirt road, but we lurched forward. I allowed myself to smile. That was weird as hell, but we were getting out of there. Then the engine died again. We rolled to a stop. I slammed my hand into the steering wheel in frustration. What the fuck was going on? How far did you get? Michael asked. 20 feet, maybe 30. I said, why? Those lights seem any closer? Moose and I both looked ahead. They didn't look any closer. What the fuck? Moose said. How did you know that? Just then, at the edge of where my headlights reached, we saw something run across the road into the corn. You saw, I started, but Moose nodded, and I didn't need to finish it. The family, Michael said breathlessly. Man, fuck the family, Moose said as he kicked open the passenger door. I'm about to fuck some bitches up. I reached for him, but he was out of the truck before I could grab him. He walked in front of the car, his body casting long shadows down the street, and started screaming a string of obscenities at whoever was out there. I watched in hopes that he would scare them away, and in fear that they would rush him. What the fuck is your deal? I said to Michael. I said to not come down this road. I said the family cursed it. I said they would be here. Is this some prank you're pulling? This shit ain't funny, man. He slowly turned his head to face me. I don't know what I was expecting, but something in my gut told me it wasn't going to be Michael, or at least not the one I knew. Before he turned his head all the way around, Moose yelled out, What the fuck is that? What's up, buddy? I turned my eyes forward and saw Moose staring out into the dark cornfield. Deep in the waving grain, we saw the remains of the old Denton farmhouse. It was just a frame at this point. The years of neglect have left it near collapse, but suddenly it looked like a light in the top floor had just turned on. I got out of the car. I still to this day don't know why I did that, and walked over to Moose. We both just stared out at the light. I nudged him and he nudged back. I just wanted to make sure this was really happening. Just then we heard a car door slam. We both looked back, expecting to see Michael finally joining us, but he was still in the back seat. We turned back and saw that the lights from the end of the street had moved forward. We hadn't heard a goddamn thing, but now this car was just outside our field of vision. We saw a figure standing there waiting to speak. I was done waiting. You have any cables? My truck died. Yes, the stoic voice said. Come here and get them. Moose said in a whisper, Don't you dare walk to him. You make that weird motherfucker come to us. Just drive ahead, I said, and we'll hook up our cars. Behind us, we heard footsteps crunch on the gravel. It was more than one person. We both turned back to see who was there, but we only found an empty truck. Michael was gone. The fuck, I said to no one in particular. Did someone? That's when Moose elbowed me. I turned around. The lights were gone. The car was gone. The man was gone. Instead, there was at least a dozen or so people holding torches in a semicircle. Michael was standing in front of the group. Dude, I said, what the fuck are you doing, Michael? Moose looked at me. Who are you talking to? Our friend that's standing in front of a bunch of fucking weirdos. I'll never forget the look Moose gave me. It was fear and confusion and terror. He barely eked out, I've never seen that kid in my life. Have you ever felt like you were outside your own body, a spectator to things that are happening to you? That's what it felt like. This wasn't real. It was too fucked up to be real. He's not wrong, Michael said, his face with a mischievous grin. We've never met. That's impossible, I stammered out. We go to school together. What classes do we have together? And my mind went blank. I suddenly couldn't remember any classes I had with Michael. I couldn't remember hanging out with him. I couldn't remember being friends. He was a stranger. We were at the liquor store, I said, trailing off as my mind collapsed in on itself. Were we? He asked with a small laugh. Moose looked at me and suddenly nodded towards the truck. I gave him a look that let him know I was thinking the same thing. First chance, we run. We weren't as slick as we thought we were being. Thinking of leaving us, Michael said, but you were so eager to join us earlier. Look, man, I said, sorry, we came down here. We didn't mean any disrespect. You were warned. The whole town was warned, and still you didn't listen. Still you don't listen. Yeah, we're dumb, I said, not knowing what the fuck else to vocalize. This is our land, Michael said. Everyone should stay off it. Just then, Michael let out an unnatural scream, and everyone with the torch threw them at us. Moose and I screamed as they came crashing near us. We both fell to the ground, arms in front of us to block the flaming sticks. As the torches hit the ground around us, they disappeared. We were surrounded by total blackness. Moose and I looked around. Everyone was gone. All you could hear is the corn blowing in the wind and the sound of crickets. Clouds rolled over the moon and made it so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. That's when I felt a hot breath on my right ear. Michael hissed a single word, "Run!" Just then, my truck's engine started up again, the headlights nearly blinding us. We scrambled to our feet and dashed into the truck. I threw it in reverse and spun the steering wheel to head back where we had come from. I slammed on the gas. The truck's back end slid on the gravel, but finally caught, and we tore our ass off Denton Road. I wanted to go home, but I knew I couldn't. Not yet. I had to confirm something. I pulled my truck into the parking lot of the liquor store and dashed inside. Rusty was still there, and he perked up when he saw Moose and I run in. Jesus, back for more already? Rusty, I said, catching my breath, how many of us were there when we came in here earlier? What? Just answer the question, Moose said, terrified. I followed. Were there 2 of us or 3 of us? Rusty shook his head. I know Downing Boone's farm gets you buzzed, but not to the point where you can't count. Just answer, I implored. 2, he said matter-of-factly. Just you and Moose. Why? My heart sank. Moose and I just walked out and climbed into my truck. We would not be attending Janet's party. I would not be talking to Brianna. This would not be a night to remember, but one I would actively try to forget. God damn, this story never ends. We went back to Moose's house, drank every ounce of liquor, and passed out. The next day, my brain went into sanity preservation mode, and I forgot about what had happened. Moose, too. We never spoke about it again. That was 20 years ago, but like I said, the story has been filtering back lately. It started when I read that Denton plot had been sold and someone had burned down the Denton family farmhouse. A flash of remembrance that soon caught fire in my memory. I do my best to deal, but so far I am struggling. I often wonder why we weren't killed that night. If legends were to be believed, anyone who tangled with the Denton family ghost never lived to tell the story. But then it clicked. Death would be too light of a sentence for trespassers. It wasn't enough to appease the family. They wanted me to carry this fear for life. I lost touch with Moose after high school and have been trying to find him online. He seems to have disappeared. Wherever he is, I hope he's happy and not dealing with this. If you're out there, man, reach out. We have some things to discuss, especially because Michael came to visit me last night. Oh my God. So there's some folklore about Denton. Michigan railroads. There we go. We're going to learn something about it. Denton was located in Canton Township and became a station on the Michigan Central Railroad in 1864, 6 miles west of downtown Wayne, near the Washtenaw County border. It's about 6 miles west of downtown Wayne, near the Washtenaw County border. Right, that's Denton, Michigan. The Ghost of Canton, Michigan, Denton's Road Bridge. History. See, there's not much history about Denton, Michigan. Denton. Denton Road Dance Club. Since 1956. Denton. Denton County History. That's Tejas. See if there's any Denton, Michigan postcards. Go to Worth Point. Worth pointing out, buddy. Did you get it? Did you get it, bruv? Denton. Denton, Michigan. 1912 school photo. 1908. Denton. Denton, Michigan. E.A. Newton. Postcard. East Ward School. Boys. Let's see what it says, bruv. fuck is the picture? That's some bullshit, ain't it? I think I'm gonna end this.